So Civilization 6 has been out on Xbox One and PlayStation 4 for a day, and I've got asked lots of questions about all versions on every single console, including Switch. And today I'm going to try and answer all of the questions I couldn't answer in the last video, as well as a few revisiting ones because I keep getting asked the same questions and I thought it makes sense to quickly go over those again. Then we're going to move on and talk about my initial thoughts on the game because people have asked me to do a review, and although I will do a review in the next week or so, I just think at this point when I've not put so much time into the game, it makes sense just to give some quick thoughts which will form sort of the basis of any review anyway. So yes, if there's anything I missed today and you want to ask me, feel free to ask me down in the comments. Yeah, I'm trying to get back to every comment possible, but it is very time consuming, so if I don't get back to yours, I'm really sorry, but I am trying so hard to answer everything. Yeah, if you want to see more things like this, including the playthrough we have going on, which was a quite an interesting start, feel free to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Let's dive into the questions. So one of the big questions I couldn't properly answer last time was, does the game have online leaderboards? And the answer to that is no, I don't think so. I mean, I couldn't find them, so unless someone's found them in a kind of hidden place, I don't think so. But yeah, that's a bit sad. Hopefully we'll get them in the future. The second question that I keep getting asked is there a world builder / map editor mode? Nope, not on the console version. Is that on the PC version? Maybe one day they'll put that update in, but right now I do not think that is there. One of the other big questions that keeps reoccurring is, can we turn DLC packs off? Now, I think this is a really important question because sometimes maybe you just don't want to play as with Gathering Storm or whatever, and you just want to play a normal game. So yes, you can just go into the downloadable content tab, which is on the main screen of the game, scroll across to installed and select which one of the expansions you want to turn off. So if you scroll down to Gathering Storm and you want to turn it off, then all you have to do is disable it. Now, just be aware though that when you do that, sometimes it sort of says you have to disable the two scenarios that are linked to it. So for example, when I tried to deactivate Gathering Storm for a little bit, what it did was it came up with and said I had to first of all disable the scenarios of War Machine and the Black Death in order to actually disable Gathering Storm. But basically, it's possible. Just read what it says on the screen. The next question, is Hot Seat available on all platforms? Yes, it is, including Nintendo Switch. I got this wrong last time because Civilization was sending out weird messages which suggested it wouldn't happen yet. But yep, every platform, so Xbox, PS4 and Switch, all have Hot Seat available right now. Moving on to something regarding the online games, and something that there was a lot of talk about before the game came out. How many AI civs can you have in an online game, in addition to the 4 real people? So in an online game, if you set it up, you can have up to 4 of you real people in one game. Now, some people thought that this was going to be the limit, but that is not the case. You can actually have an additional 8 AI players in a game, and you can also create some really big games, I think. 12 players in one game is not something you're going to get through in a couple of hours, so yeah. Linking on to that, one of the key features of online, and I talked about this last time, but just to remind you, you can save online games with friends, so you can revisit them a day later, a couple of days later, which is a really nice feature considering that these games could be pretty big. The penultimate question we're going to look at today, is there mouse and keyboard support for the Xbox and PS4 versions of the game right now? No, there is not, but I get the feeling there is a chance it could happen in the future. I posted it in the last questions video we did, but Civilization have sort of said, you know, well, it's not happening now. I can't remember what the tweet said exactly, but they said that they're not discussing it right now. They've no further information to disclose on that right now, which, you know, we'll have to see, but it could happen in my opinion. Doesn't mean it will, but it could. And the final thing I wanted to put in here, questions-wise, was the sort of questions I've been getting about cross-platform stuff. Now, there is no cross-platform multiplayer in Civilization 6, so if you're on Xbox, you cannot play players on the PlayStation. But there is, however, cross-platform saves on every platform apart from the PS4. So if you've got the game on maybe the Xbox and the Switch, you can place the same saved game on both of those systems, which I think is really nice because the Switch obviously has the portability, whereas the game just looks better on the Xbox. So Yeah, if you've got any more questions, feel free to let me know down below. I will do my best to answer them. Also, I would actually like to thank everybody who does keep answering these questions for me in the comments, because it saves me time and helps me answer people who need answers. Right. So moving on in this video, let's talk about my quick thoughts. This is not a comprehensive review. I'll tell you what, I've got this Word document loaded up here with everything, and it's just a bit of a mess, so we'll work our way through this quick review stuff. So, yeah. So, how are the controls in Civilization 6 on Xbox? Now, I think it's pretty much the same for the PS4, because it was actually the same for the Switch. So, the controls on Xbox just feel natural to me, because I've played the game on Switch for a year, and they are pretty much identical to the Switch controls. Now, these do a good job, in my opinion, for a console game. You're never going to have the same sort of controls with a controller as you do with a mouse and keyboard. So for me, it works alright. I find the systems easy enough to navigate. And yeah, once you've done a bit of adapting, I don't think there's a problem with the controls. Yeah, decent enough then. And some of the other major thoughts, and hopefully, you know, if you're considering buying the game, this will help you make your decision. So crucially, the game has all of the features pretty much from the PC version of Civilization 6, apart from the sort of world builder map editor stuff. Most of the stuff is there, and when you dive into a normal game of Civilization 6, apart from the controls, there is very little difference. How good does the game look? The game looks actually really good on Xbox. I forgot how good the game can look, because on Switch it does a decent job. I mean, the visuals are not spectacular, but it does a good enough job of bringing the game to a platform which is not that powerful. But obviously on PS4 and Xbox, as you'd expect, because these are more powerful consoles, the game looks pretty good. It doesn't look as good as it does on my PC, but it looks very, very good for a console game on Xbox, and I was very, very happy with it. Obviously, the thing with the Switch is if you buy it on Switch, it won't look as good, but you do get that trade-off of portability, and you can sort of take it on the train and stuff, so I guess that's what you need to consider there. The game, moving on then, the game does actually run well from the limited time I've put into it, but until we get to the late game saves, maybe I'm going to have to try and get through a game pretty quick. Until we get to a big late game save, yeah, that's when you'll be able to tell just how good the Xbox handles the game. And because that's where the Switch sort of started to fall down slightly, was when we got to late game saves, where there was lots of units, lots of cities and stuff, so... but overall, the initial thoughts is it will probably be alright, and it certainly plays alright in the early game. So overall, there are all the positives I've had. Now I just want to talk about a little bit about a couple of the negatives. It feels kind of stupid to end the video on negatives, but they're nothing too major that I don't think could be fixed. Now I've had no problems with the game yet, but granted I've not put a crazy amount of time into the Xbox version yet, but people have reported in the comments there are issues with a number of things. Now what I want to say first of all is I will try and help you to the best of my ability to fix these issues. But yeah, keep letting me know what they are, because it would be interesting and important for me to put these in the review, because I don't want to just be like positive, 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 positive if there are some big issues. Now I don't think these issues can't be fixed, but I think people are having a few difficulties. So the first thing people have sort of mentioned to me is and I've seen it from quite a number, is that they're struggling to get the game resolution on their screens to be right. So basically they're having bits where areas of their screen is just cut off. Now a lot of these comments I've not actually replied to, because I literally don't know how you can fix that. If anyone's got any suggestions, please do leave them below. But yeah, hopefully if there was a patch you could sort of change the resolution so the screen fits properly, because that's going to be frustrating. The second big issue I've seen people talking about is the people joining lobbies, inviting friends to lobbies. Now, I don't know how big of an issue this is, but do keep letting me know. All the advice I would give for this, by the way, is make sure that everybody in that lobby either doesn't have the DLC active or does have the DLC active. Because if you're going to go into an online lobby and one of the players has the DLC, that could screw it up for everybody else, because you cannot play the same game as them, because they are playing with the DLC. So just make sure you've got all that sorted, and that, you know, you've set the game up to either have the DLC, not have the DLC, and stuff like that. But if that is an issue, obviously, hopefully it gets fixed soon. Let me know how that is going. So there you go, that's it for this video. Yeah, I mean, it's not the most polished video in the world, but I just wanted to answer some of your questions because I feel really bad when I don't get around to answering every comment. Do keep them coming in. Thank you so much for watching. If there is anything else I've missed off or you want answers to, just let me know. I hope you found this video useful. We're going to continue uploading Civ stuff, so as I said, I've got the review coming. We'll keep uploading the playthrough pretty regularly for the foreseeable future and beyond. And yeah, if you want to see all that Civ stuff and you're excited for strategy games, make sure you hit the like button on this video and subscribe. Thank you once again, and I will see you in another video soon.